Welcome to the World Champs Lenzerheide special. In the run-up to the seasonal climax of cross-country and downhill racing, we'll be taking a look at what the racers can expect from the track, who the hot favourites are, and who we personally think could walk off with the title of World Champion. And of course, we'll be taking a look at the exciting results from this weekend's racing too. Let's do it! First up, cross country. The men's and women's final will be taking place this coming Saturday, and the women's elite racing starting at 12:30 local time, and the men's at 15:30 to see Nino go off. Now, this track is really quite something. First raced in the BMC Racing Cup back in 2014, this course has quickly earned itself the recognition for being both technically and physically demanding, which is exactly what is needed to round off the international season. Spanning 4.2 kilometres in distance, this loop sets off from the bike arena through the forest and into the Tagapalotta area, I hope I said that right, with a height difference of 188 metres, technical climbs and challenging features for the riders to master. That's a great track. So here are our predictions. Nino has battled illness earlier this month, suffered a snap chain in Mount St Anne, but he could hold on to the title on home soil. Probably could do it. You can never count Nino out. He's got to be the favourite, and if anything, these recent setbacks will only make him hungrier for that win. Previous champion Jaroslav Kulavi has been off the pace this year in World Cups, and a younger generation of XC riders are beginning to challenge Schurter this year. Kiwis Sam Gaze and Anton Cooper have the strength and experience to win. Gerhard Kirschbaumer has consistently been on the podium this season, but it is Brazilian national champion Henrique Avancini who has been the only rider aside from Gaze to beat Schurter this year on equal footing, and currently looks like he could be in great form to win this. But could this be the year for the young star Mathieu Van Der Poel? He's in some fine form from racing on the road in Norway, winning 2 out of the 4 stages there, and has been consistently on the podium whenever he's raced at World Champs. In the elite women's, it's hard to look past Jolanda Neff. In years past, we've seen her attack and then run out of steam, but this year she seems to be in a realm of her own, attacking in the opening laps of almost every race and holding on to take amazing solo victories. Nonetheless, she could have an off day, and if she does, there's several strong riders who won't be afraid to strike. Annika Langvad looks strong and hungry for a win, along with the consistent Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, who's been close to the top step all year. Maya Wawrzowska won in Val d'Isole, hasn't been out of the top 10 all year, so expect to see her on the podium in Lenzerheide as well. Gunri Adale has had a great season and has the experience, of course, to win again on this course, and she opted to skip the Mount St Anne World Cup to prepare for this race, which is incredible. Another rider who's ridden into some fine form at the end of the season is Emily Batty, but she's yet to claim a win at top level. And a final rider to consider, imagine this, Annie Last. She was the last rider to win a World Cup on this course in 2017 and has had consistent running throughout the season, and she also won the Commonwealth Games cross-country race. Now it's time for downhill, and I've been joined by an excited Steve Jones. It's all happening this Sunday. It's 9:30 for the junior categories, followed by elites later in the afternoon. Straight Line, the track, was planned and built by Trailworks in collaboration with downhill legend. Have you ever heard of this guy, Steve? Steve Peat. It's a 2.5 kilometre track. Fast technical key points and spectacular jumps. Spectator magnets include the full gas jump, the plunge drop and an action-loaded finish line. Some stats, Steve. 2.2 kilometre distance, 430 metres of height. It sounds great, but is it any good?
It is. It absolutely is. And like you said, Martin, the finish area is simply loaded with great features.
Yes.
Massive step-down jump. There's that bridge, which lots of people have messed up in the past. But do you know what? It's a super tight course. I mean, the times will come down to... It'll be down to a 10th, which it has shown in the past, you know. Yeah. But ultimately, I think bike choice is going to be key on this track because it's full of really loose rocks. So yeah. I think it's going to benefit the bigger wheel 29-inch wheel bike, you know.
So could we see a 29 world champion?
I think we might do. But it's going to come down to form, but we'll talk about that a little bit later, I think.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to ask you, Steve, because Worlds, that's what we're talking about, but why is Worlds so special?
Yeah, absolutely, Martin. One run, one title, and all the pressure that comes with it to gain the biggest prize in mountain biking, the title of world champion.
Amazing.
Walking the tightrope outside the comfort zone, it's into an area of calculated risk and precision. It's a strange place to be for a lot of people. In fact, it's a place where space and time is compressed like no other event.
Amazing. Yes.
For many, it's the place of broken dreams.
Oh.
But Martin, really, the World Championships is all about the countries. And you know, America has dominated this event for a long, long time.
Is it time America are going to win?
Well, this is the question, you see. I mean, you know, you look back at the history. Like I said, America has been strong in the past, 20 years ago. However, it's been 18 years since an American has won the World Championships in the male class.
True?
In the male class, right?
Yeah.
It was Miles Rockwell back in, 18 years ago. The question is can Gwin do it? Now, it seems to have been an event he's failed to master. He seems to have overcooked it on many occasions.
Yes.
It's becoming a bit of a Steve Pete issue with Aaron Gwin. You know, this is his 10th. I think it's his 10th attempt at trying the World Championship. I think a bigger question is, can you come back from injury and win the World Championships? I mean, Gwin is still coming back from his hand injury.
Yeah. He's
And the answer to that is yes, you can. If you look back at 2002 in Capron, Nico Vulioz, he'd been out all year with an injury.
Yeah.
He turned up at Capron. The BBC World cameras were there. Petey was there with his bike. He was pretty much lined up to just walk away with the title. Vulioz comes in last minute, literally within the last few weeks. And he puts down a run that was absolutely immaculate.
Yes,
so yes, you can do. I mean, he's not the only person. 2004 in Leger, Fabien Brel, he'd been out all season.
Yeah.
He prepared his bike, he knew the track, he worked it to the millimetre. But he delivered that run, which is the key thing. You have to be able to deliver under immense pressure with huge crowds most of the time. So yeah, Burrell did it. Sam Hill did it. He came back from injury in 2010.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you can come back from injury, but I think current form is going to have a big impact on this race as well. I think another key story is, you know, you have to look at the likes of Danny Hart and Loic Bruni. They've nailed 2 World Championships. Yes. They've got the pressure is off them. They don't have to worry about it. But now you've got the likes of Amir Piron, who's won the World Cup Series. Yeah. You've got Troy Brosnan. You've got Laurie Greenland. All these guys are on good form. However, they've never won the World Championships, and it's definitely when they win a lockdown, you know.
Yeah.
So that the pressure does not build.
Yeah.
So the pressure does not build.
Yeah, and that's what Gwyn's dealing with right now. I don't think he can do it. I think your mental block's just too big, and I think your point about coming back for injury is bang on. That's why Greg Minnaar is gonna win.
Well, you say that, Martin.
First.
I mean, you're absolutely right. You know, Minnaar's going to be on a 29-inch wheel bike. He's also the guy who has dominated this event in the past.
Yes.
You cannot discount Greg Minnaar because he can deliver a race run pretty much like no other rider on the planet, apart from maybe Gwin, under that constricted time and pressure of a World Championship. Yeah. So I think you can never, ever discount Greg Minnaar.
Okay, on to the favourites then. While we've got you here, Steve, I clearly think Greg Minnaar is going to absolutely smash it, and I'm always right, but while you're here, what do you think?
Well, I think the question is there a correlation between current form and winning the World Championships? So I've already answered that, is that you can come back from injury.
Yeah.
Ultimately, rarely has someone won the World Championships without having podiumed that season. That's a fact. That's the stats, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So the people you're going to be looking at from the current form this year, I think, is Amir Piron, Loic Bruni, Aaron Gwin. Obviously, he won the first round.
Yes, yeah.
Then you have Danny Hart, Troy Brosnan, Lucas Shaw, Loris Vergier, and Laurie Greenland. Yeah. Okay, so those are the form riders, right? From that, you have to look at Lenzerheide previous, right?
Yes.
Amir Piron, not such good previous in Lenzerheide. Like Bruni, he's done pretty well. He's actually won qualifying there several occasions. He had a 2nd and a 7th.
Yeah.
Aaron Gwin has been plagued by problems at Lenzerheide. He's had a flat twice when he's been up on the clock.
Oh.
So that's what I'm saying. You cannot discount Aaron Gwin on this track because
he's going to do it again.
He might do.
Again. I know it.
Then you have Danny Hart, super strong on Lenzerheide. He's won 2 World Championships. So Danny Hart with a 7th, a 1st and a 3rd is a strong candidate to win this race.
Like it.
Troy Brosnan, 4th, 6th and the 2nd at Lenzerheide in the past. I think he's strong as well.
Yeah.
However, Brosnan can be a little bit up and down in his season.
I was about to say that. He quite often disappoints. if that's a bit harsh.
He has won. He's won World Cups this year.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Sam Hill is the only person from Australia, New Zealand to have won the World Championships. There's a big pressure on Brosnan.
Yeah.
Big pressure. Obviously, from Africa, Minar's won the World Championships 3 times. You brought Greg Minar into the picture. Then you have 3 other riders: Lucas Shaw, Loris Vergier, and Laurie Greenland. Now.
Yes.
When it comes to previous, Lucas Shaw seems to be on an upward trajectory on Lenzerheide with the 29th, the 7th and the 6th. Vergier seems to be all over the place a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Makes him exciting.
Yeah, so, obviously Vergier's going to win a race this year. And I think Laurie Greenland, he's won a junior World Cup race on this track. So I think he's a medal candidate. But for me, I think the favourites are Bruni, Gwin, Hart and Brosnan.
Okay, right, now you're heart talking. Who do you want to win?
Who do I want to win?
Yeah, you just got to say a name now, Steve. Someone you really want to win.
It's very simple. Aaron Gwin, simply because I think some of the greatest World Championship stories in history are those where riders have come back from injury and absolutely nailed that run. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a tremendous story should he deliver it.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. Now, let's take a look at the form in the women's downhill and who's going to win that.
Again, it's now this is a story of European domination pretty much in the history of World Championships. Yeah. France and Britain have dominated this race. However, you could look back that Canada actually are the reigning World Championships. Miranda Miller won the World Championships in Cairns last year. Yeah. And Cindy Devine, back all those years ago in 1993, she was the actual first ever female world champion.
But Miranda Miller's become world champion by accident. She was more surprised than anyone else. So, she's not in the running really. Who's going to win it? I mean, Rachel's got to be the person who can handle the form because she knows she can do it.
Well, you just said it there. I mean, the thing with the World Championships is people tend to take massive, massive risks, right? And Miriam Nicole is a master at this, right? She can nail this. So I think Miriam Nicole, Tani Seagrave, Rachel Atherton, those are going to be the people on the podium more than likely. Yeah. The big thing for Rachel Atherton, right? She's won 4 World Championships. Now, this is where we really get down to the nitty-gritty, right? Yeah. The greatest downhill racer ever, and I'm on tears here, Anne-Caroline Chausson, she's won 9 World Championships, 9 senior World Championships. Yeah, I mean,
it's incredible. It
is absolutely bananas. So let's not forget that. She's won 8 in a row, 8 World Championships in a row. So for Rachel, she's probably going after those numbers. She's 30 years old now. So I think there's every chance she could match those numbers. So for Rachel, it's a race she has got to win. Yeah. Simple as that.
And I mean, and that is amazing that we're watching an era of racing where there's someone in it that's actually trying to get those numbers, which we probably thought in the past could never be done. So I've got to be singing for Rachel a little bit, thinking that way round. But if there's a rider you had to pick from your heart in the women's, who would that be?
Rachel.
Definitely Rachel. Do you know what who I'd love to see win this? I'd love to see Tracy Hannah take it. Yeah. I think she would be such a popular world champion. Yeah. And if we could just add Mick Hannah into the men's, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. And do you know what? Lenzerheide is that massive place of unpredictability. The surface and obviously the crowds and everything. So that's the great thing about the Worlds, People, like I said, people put everything into that one run. They take huge risks. Yeah. Some people are going to overcook it this weekend. Absolutely. We're going to see some drama. There is no doubt, Martin.
Yeah, Worlds is coming up. It's an exciting weekend to boot.
Do you know what? And do you know what they're after?
They're
all after one thing.
What the hell?
UCI medal.
Where did you get that from? Is that an actual one?
It's an actual UCI World Championship medal.
Sure. Oh, it is?
Yeah. So it's in the old boys class, but nevertheless, it's a UCI medal. But the problem is, it's not a gold.
Oh my God. But man, that is incredible. Yeah. And get involved. Who do you think's going to walk away with the title this weekend? Leave your predictions in the comments below. Of course, it's not all about world champs. There's been plenty of racing happening over the weekend. So let's go to Jess for the results.
Thanks guys. So we have Lenzerheide World Champs coming up this weekend, but that doesn't mean to say there hasn't been racing happening all over the world. So first of all, it was the UCI mountain bike eliminator race happening in Apeldoorn in the Netherlands. Now this is quite a technical and narrow track, but it was actually Simon Guggenheim who took the win, and it was actually his first win of the season, so congratulations to him. He was followed by Tituin Peringana, and then Jeroen van Eck in third. Now over in the women's field, it was Lizzie Whitlocks who won her first ever World Cup event. She was followed by Colleen Clojour and then Ella Holmgaard in third place, so well done to them. Now over to Basel, where it was the penultimate round of the Profix Swiss Bike Cup. Now this was such an incredibly tight race over the weekend, but it was actually Thomas Lichter to take the win, followed by Lucas Fluginger, and then in third place was Andre Frischnecht, so well done to them. Now in the women's field, again another incredibly tight race, but it was Erin Huck who took the win over Gunrita herself, who came in second, followed by Chloe Woodruff in third place. Now over to Austria, where it was the final round of the IXS Downhill European Cup. Now this track was incredibly wet and incredibly slick, but it didn't stop the riders from absolutely pinning it down there. Taking the win for the men's was Johannes von Kiebelsberg, who won in a time of 3 minutes. 2 seconds after him, it was Christopher Philogene, followed by Joshua Barth in third place. Over in the women's field, there was a spectacular win from Nina Hoffmann, who won with a 26-second lead over second place's Monika Harschneck. Now, rounding off the third place podium step was Kim Schwemmer from Germany. That was some spectacular racing from last weekend, but of course our eyes are set now to World Champs in Lenzerheide this weekend. So back to you guys.
Thanks, Jess.
Thanks, Jess. And there you have it. So much to look forward to this weekend. We can't wait. We're all going to be excited here. Tune in to next week's race show for the World Champs results. Click here to enjoy some more GMBN videos and hit the old globe to subscribe. Steve, thanks for coming in.
Love it. Love it.
I've
Love
enjoyed
every
it
single
so much.
second of it.
Can't wait for this weekend. Click on the old link to subscribe and, of course, give us a thumbs up. Like.
Pick.
See you next week.